I shower welcome on you all. Welcome all. Your presence glads our days. Honor we love. For who hates honor, hates the gods above. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the greatest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold this swelling scene. Pardon, gentles all, the flat unraised spirits that hath dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of Rome, or may we cram within this wooden O the very tumult that did fill the air of Glamis? Let us in your imaginary forces think. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them, printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For 'tis your thoughts that must now deck our kings, to carry them here and there, jumping over times, but turning the accomplishments of many years into an hourglass. Prepare for mirth becomes a feast. You are princes and my guests. Good gentles, your patience we pray, kindly to hear and gently to judge our play.
Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, grieving over the sudden death of his father the king, who reveals that he was actually murdered by his brother Claudius. Claudius has not only ascended to the throne, but married Hamlet's mother, the queen. Charged by the ghost of his father to avenge the heinous crime, Hamlet agonizes in doubt and hesitation, attempting to verify the truth of the charges. In a dueling exhibition arranged by the treacherous Claudius, Hamlet is mortally wounded, but kills the king before he dies, avenging his father's murder. Hamlet with the skull of Yorick, the jester, who entertained him as a small boy at his father's court. Hamlet is moved to a contemplation of mortality, the common fate all share in death.
Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth for 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoreson man fellows it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on it for a mad rogue. Poured a flagon on my head once. This same skull, sir, was your Rick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Even so that.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He had borne me on his back 1,000 times, and now how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your gibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning. Quiet, chap-fallen. Now, get you to my lady's chamber. Let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked this fashioneth in a earth?
Even so.
And smelt so?
Even so, my lord.
To what base uses we may return, Horatio, why may not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twere to consider, too curiously to consider so.
No faith not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough, and likelihood to lead it as thus. Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth to dust. The dust is earth, of earth we make loam. And why of that loam whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw.
This comedy, set in ancient Athens, presents the adventures and misadventures of young lovers and the fairy folk of the forest. The fair Hermia is in love with Lysander, but her father wishes her to marry Demetrius. Hermia and Lysander flee into the woods, where Oberon, king of the fairies, is quarreling with his wife, Titania. Also in the woods is a group of artisans rehearsing a play they are to perform at the wedding of Athenian Duke Theseus and Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. Oberon's use of the love potion causes comic confusion amongst all concerned. Everything turns out right in the end, with everyone finding and marrying their true love.
I pray thee, gentleman, will sing again. My ear is much enamored of thy note, so is mine eye enthralled to thy shape. And thy fair virtues, force, perforce, doth move me, and the fair speech essay to swear, I love thee.
Methinks, mistress, you should have a good reason for that. And yet, to say the truth, reason and love keep little company together nowadays. The more they pay to some honest neighbors not make them friends. Nay, I can gleek upon occasion.
Thou art as wise as thou art beautiful.
Not so, neither. But if I had wit enough to out of this wood, I would have enough to serve mine own turn.
Out of this wood do not desire to go. Thou shalt remain here while the no wilt know. I am a spirit of no common rate. The summer soul's off tends upon my state. And I do love thee, therefore go with me. I give thee fairs to attend on thee, and they shall fetch thee jewels from the deep. To sing while thou on pressed flowers dost sleep. To purge my mortal growth is so, thou shalt like an airy spirit go. Peas blossom, cobweb, moth, mustard seed, ready.
And I.
And I.
And I.
Where shall we go? Be kind and courteous to the gentleman. Hop in his walks and gambol in his eyes. Feed him with apricots and dewberries, with purple grapes, green figs, and mulberries. The honey bags steal from the humble bees, and night taper crops their waxen thighs. And light them at the fiery glowworm's eyes, to have my love to bed and to arise. And pluck the wings from painted butterflies, to fan the moonbeams from his sleeping eyes. Not to him elves, and do him courtesies.
A pastoral comedy set in medieval France, As You Like It, contrasts the worldly life at court with the natural, carefree life in the forest. A duke, deposed by his brother Frederick, has fled with his followers to live in the forest. His daughter, Rosalind, remaining behind to be with her cousin Celia, falls in love with Orlando, the son of Frederick's enemy, Rosalind. Disguised as a man, flees to the forest. Joined by Celia, she lives the life of a shepherd. There, she encounters Orlando, who has been forced to flee by his unscrupulous brother. Love blossoms among all the characters in the forest, with some complications caused by Rosalind's male disguise. In the end, all the lovers are properly matched, Frederick reforms, and the rightful duke's lands are restored. In the forest of Arden, Rosalind, disguised as a man, satirically counsels her lover Orlando on how to be cured of the madness of love.
There is a man haunts the forest that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs old spawn hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so low shaken. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There is none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love. In which cage of rushes, I'm sure you're not a prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye sunken, which you have not. Questionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for simply your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You rather point device in your accoutrements as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is after to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in which women still give the lie to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you that he that hangs the verses on the trees wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason could express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Again, we enter into the merry world of A Midsummer Night's Dream. In this scene, Nick Bottom has been returned to his fully human form, and it is time for the wedding of Theseus and Hippolyta. As part of the wedding festivities, Bottom and his band of players, as actors as they were called in Shakespeare's time, perform a comically ridiculous version of the tragic story of two doomed lovers, Pyramus and Thisbe, much to the delight of celebrating a wedding party.
In the same interlude it doth befall that I, one Snout by name, present a wall, and such a wall as I would have you think, that had in it a crannied hole or chink, through which the lovers, Pyramus and Thisbe, did whisper often, very secretly. This loam, this rough cast, and this stone doth show that I am that same wall, the truth is so. And this, the cranny, is right and sinister, through which the fearful lovers are to whisper.
Would you desire Lyman Hare to speak better?
It is the wittiest partition I ever heard discourse, milady.
Pyramus draws near the wall. Silence.
O grim-looking night, O night with hue so black, O night when day is not, O night, alack, alack, alack. I fear my Thisbe's promises forgot. And thou, wall, O sweet and lovely wall that separates her father's ground and mine, thou wall, O sweet and lovely wall, show me thy chink to blink through with mine eye. Thanks, courteous wall, Jove shield well for this. But what do I see? No Thisbe do I see, wicked wall, for whom I see no bliss. Cursed by thy stones for thus deceiving me.
The wall, methinks, being sensible, should curse again.
No, in all truth, ma'am, he should not. You see, deceiving me is Thisbe's cute. She is to enter now, and I am to spy on her through the wall. It'll all fall apart as I told you. Yonder she comes.
O wall, full often hast thou heard my moans, for parting my fair Pyramus and me. My cherry lips have often kissed thy stones with lime and hair knit up in thee.
I hear a voice. I will go to the chink. I see my Thisbe's face. Thisbe!
My love thou art, my love I think.
Think what you wilt. I am thy lover's grace, like Lymander, I am trusty still.
And I like Helen till the fates me kill.
Oh, Shalufus to Procrus was so true.
As Shaphalus to Procrus, I to you.
Oh, kiss me through the hole of this vile wall.
I kiss the wall's hole, not your lips at all.
Meet me at Ninny's tomb, meet me straight away.
Tide life, tide death, I come without delay.
The assassination of Julius Caesar is the central event in this tragedy. Roman Republicans, led by Cassius and reluctantly joined by Brutus, fearing Caesar's ambitions, assassinate him in the Senate. Caesar's friend, Mark Antony, is allowed to deliver a funeral oration and turns to public against the conspirators. After defeat in battle, Cassius and Brutus flee and kill themselves to avoid dishonor and capture. In this scene, Caesar is stabbed to death by Cassius and other conspirators. The last to stab him is Brutus, who Caesar has long trusted as a friend.
Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spur thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother? I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar, Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. skies appear with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire and everyone doth shine. But there's but one and all doth hold this place. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood, inapprehensive. Yet in the number I do know, but one that is undecidable holds on his rank. Unshake the motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it, even in this, and that I am constant Simber, should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar!
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar!
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak as for me.
Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar!
Liberty, freedom, harmony, let us play about the
Henry IV, Part 1 is the story of a slacker prince who must find his way in the world. In this scene, you will see John Falstaff interacting with his friend Henry, or as he calls him, Harry. Harry and Falstaff play, respectively, the king and Harry, and they're mocking each other and mocking the king. See if you can catch all of the insults that they hurl at one another.
Dost thou speak like a king? Do thou stand for me, and I'll play my father.
Dispose me? Thou dost it half so gravely, so majestically, both in word and matter, hang me up by the heels for a rabbit sucker or a poulter's hair.
Well, here I am set.
And here I stand. Judge my masters.
Now, Harry, whence come you?
My noble lord from Eastcheap.
The complaints I hear of thee are grievous.
Spud, my lord, they are false. Now tickle you for a young prince, I faith.
Swearest thou, ungracious boy, henceforth near look on me, thou art violently carried away from grace. There's a devil haunts thee in a likeness old fat man. A ton of man is thy companion. Why hast thou conversed with that trunk of humours, that bolting hutch of beastliness, that swollen parcel of dropsies, that huge bombard of sack, that stuffed cloak bag of guts, that roasted man introduced his pudding in his belly, that revered vice, that great iniquity, that father ruffian, that vanity in years? Wherein is he good to taste sack and drink it? Wherein neat and cleanly but to carve a cap on and eat it? Wherein worthy but in nothing?
I would your grace take me with you. Who means your grace?
That villainous, abominable misleader of youth, Falstaff, that white old bearded Satan.
My lord, the man I know.
I know thou dost.
But to say I know more harm in him than myself would be to say more than I know. That he is old, the more the pity, his white hairs do witness it. If sack and sugar be a fault, God help the wicked. If to be old and merry be a sin, the many an old host that I know is damned. If to be fat be to be hated, and Pharaoh's lean kind are to be loved. No, my good lord, banish Pito, banish Bartle, banish Points, but for sweet Jack Falstaff, kind Jack Falstaff, true Jack Falstaff, and valiant Jack Falstaff, therefore more valiant being as he is old Jack Falstaff. Banish not him thy Harry's company, banish not him thy Harry's company, banish Pump Jack and banish all the world.
I do, I will.
Set in Scotland in the 11th century, Macbeth is a story of intrigue and murder. Macbeth, after triumphing in battle, defending King Duncan, visits three witches, who predict he will be king. He tells his wife of this prediction, and she, even more ambitious than Macbeth himself, convinces him to murder Duncan, plotting to blame others and seize the throne. Once the bloody deed is done, Macbeth lives in fear of discovery. Duncan's sons, suspecting foul play, gather an army against Macbeth, eventually killing him in battle, avenging their father and regaining the throne. In this scene, Lady Macbeth, who convinced her husband to assassinate the king, is driven mad by guilt and fear. She wanders down the halls of the castle, complaining that she cannot wash the blood from her hands.
Lo, you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon my life, fast asleep. Observe her. Stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see, her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I've known her continue this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark! She speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn it, Spot, out, I say. 1, 2, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky, fie, my lord, fie! A soldier and afeard? Yet need we fear who knows it? Who can call our power to account? Who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands never be clean? No more of that, no more, my lord. You mar with all this starting.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
She has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Yet here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Oh, oh, oh!
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God it be, sir.
This disease is beyond my practice, yet I have known those who have walked in their sleep who have died wholly in their beds.
Wash your hands, put on your nightgown, look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried, he cannot come out in one's grave.
Even so?
There's knocking at the gate. Come, 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 come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed, to bed, to bed.
Comedy features Sir John Falstaff, the merry rogue from the earlier Henry IV plays. His fortunes at low ebb, Falstaff plots to win the affections of two wealthy married women, Mistress Ford and Mistress Page, by writing them both identical love letters. The two women discover his plot, however, and together decide to teach Falstaff a lesson by leading him on and then tricking him to reveal his unscrupulous behavior before everyone. At the same time, they teach their husbands a lesson about jealousy. Mistress Ford and Mistress Page hide Falstaff in a bucket of dirty linen to conceal him from Mistress Ford's husband, who has arrived on the scene. The basket is taken out by servants and Falstaff is dumped in the river along with the laundry.
Oh, Mistress Ford, what have you done? You're ashamed, you're overthrown, you're undone forever.
What's the matter, good Mistress Page?
Oh, well a day, Mistress Ford, having an honest man to your husband, to give him such cause of suspicion.
What cause of suspicion?
What cause of suspicion? Out upon you, how am I mistaken you?
Why, alas, what's the matter?
Your husband's coming hither, woman, with all the officers in Windsor, to search for a man that he says is here now in this house by your consent. To take an ill advantage of his absence, you are undone.
'Tis not so, I hope.
Pray heaven it be not so, that you have such a friend here. But 'tis most certain your husband's coming, with half of Windsor at his heels, to search for such a one. I come before to tell you. If you know yourself clear, why, I am glad of it. But if you have a friend here, convey him out. Be not amazed. Call all your senses. Defend your reputation, or bid farewell to your good life forever.
What shall I do? There is a gentleman, my dear friend, and I fear not my own shame so much as his peril. I had rather 1,000 pounds that he were out of the house.
For shame. Never stand you had rather, or you had rather. Your husband's here at hand. Bethink you of some conveyance. In the house you cannot hide him. Oh, how have you deceived me? Look, here is a basket. If he be of any reasonable stature, he may creep in here and throw foul linen upon him, as if it were going to bucking, or it is whiting time. Send him by your 2 men to Datchetmead.
He's too big to go in there. What shall I do?
Let me see it. Let me see it. I'll in. Father Friend's counsel. I'll in.
What, Sir John Falstaff? Are these your letters, knight?
I love thee. Help me away. I'll never.
This early comedy is a classic battle of the sexes. Set in Padua, Italy, it is the story of a rich man with 2 daughters, Bianca, the younger, gentle and sweet, and Katharina, the ill-tempered and shrewish. Bianca cannot marry until a husband is found for Katharina. Petruchio, a wealthy man from Verona, comes to Padua in search of a rich wife and agrees to court Katharina. Although Katharina detests him, she must obey her father's wish and marry him. Petruchio goes about taming Katharina in a comic battle of wits and wills. In the end, Katharina becomes the perfect wife, Petruchio a good husband, and Bianca marries the man of her choice.
Good morrow, Kate, for that's your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard? But something hard of hearing. They call me Catherine that do talk of me.
You lie in faith, for you are called plain Kate, and bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Cursed. But Kate, the prettiest Kate in Christendom. Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, for daintiest are all Kates. And therefore, Kate, take this of me, Kate of my consolation, hearing thy mildness praised in every town, and thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, and yet not so deeply as to thee belongs, myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Moved in good time. Let him that moves you hither remove you hence. I knew you at first. You were immovable.
Why, what's immovable?
A joined stool.
Thou hast hit it. Come, sit on me.
Donkeys are made to bear, and so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such jade as you, if me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swain as you to catch, and yet just as heavy as my weight should be.
Should buzz.
Well, take them like a buzzard.
O slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
I for a turtle as he takes a buzzard.
Come, you wasp, by faith, you're too angry.
If I be waspish, best beware my sting.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
I, if the fool could find it where it lies.
Who knows not where a wasp does wear his sting? In his tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours, if you talk of tails, and so farewell.
What? Nay, come again, good Kate, I'm a gentleman.
The Merchant of Venice is a love comedy with serious overtones. Bassanio and Antonio are best friends. Antonio wants to borrow some money to help Bassanio woo the lovely Portia. He borrows money from the Jewish moneylender Shylock. Shylock's terms say that he must repay the debt, or Shylock can take a pound of flesh from anywhere on Antonio's body. Well, Bassanio is successful in wooing Portia, but unfortunately, Antonio falls on hard times and cannot repay Shylock. Shylock demands his pound of flesh, but in the end, Portia, disguised as a man, makes his case before the Venetian court, eventually freeing him of his burden.
I'm informed truly of the cause. Which is the merchant and which is the Jew?
Antonio and old Shylock, both stand forward.
Is your name Shylock?
Shylock is my name.
Of such a strange nature is the suit you follow. Yet in such rule that the Venetian law cannot impugn you as you do proceed. You stand within his danger, do you not?
Aye, so he says.
You confess to bond?
I do.
Then must the Jew be merciful.
On what compulsion must I? Tell me that.
The quality of mercy is not strength. It droppeth as a gentle rain from heaven. Upon the place beneath it is twice blessed. It bless him that gives and him that takes. 'Tis mightiest and the mightiest, it becomes the throne monarch better than his crown. His scepter shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty, wherein doves sit in dread and fear of the kings, but mercy is above the scepter swayed. It is enthroned in the heart of kings. It is an attribute to God himself. An earthly power left then show like as God's when mercy seasons justice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in a court of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which, if thou follow, the strict court of Venice must needs give sentence against the merchant there.
My deed's upon my head. I crave the law, the penalty, and the forfeit of my bond.
In this great tragedy, old King Lear of ancient Britain, after falling out with his youngest daughter Cordelia, divides his kingdom between his two older daughters, who with monstrous ingratitude abuse and desert him. Reduced to wandering homeless and half-mad with wool, his faithful jester, Lear is saved by Cordelia and the army of her husband, the King of France. Although the villainous daughters destroy each other in the end, good Cordelia falls victim to them. and Lear dies, despairing and brokenhearted. In this scene, refusing to flatter Lear with overblown expressions of love, Cordelia is foolishly disowned by her father.
To thee and thine, hereditary ever, remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Glenarel. Now, our joy, the last not least, whose young love, the vines of France and milk of Burgundy, strive to be interested. What can you say to draw third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more nor less.
How, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest it mar your fortunes.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those favors back as are right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all.
But goes thy heart with this?
Aye, good my lord.
So young and so untender.
So young, my lord, and true.
Let it be so, that truth be thy dower. For by the sacred writings of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the operation of the orbs, from whom you do exist and cease to be, I hereby disclaim all my paternal care, both propinquity and property of blood. And as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever. The barbarous Scythian, or he that makes his generation messes to gorgeous appetite, shall to my bosom. Be as well neighbored, bidden, or relieved, as thou my sometime daughter.
Romeo and Juliet is perhaps Shakespeare's most famous play. This one of Shakespeare's most earliest tragedies is the story of two young people in love, but kept apart because of family feud. Its plot is full of coincidences which altogether might be interpreted as fate. The story ends with the deaths of both lovers. In this scene, Juliet waits impatiently for news from Romeo. She has sent her comical mothering nurse as a messenger, only to take her time telling that the date and time is set for her secret wedding with Romeo.
The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That is not so. Oh, she is lame. Love's herald should be like thoughts, which glide 10 times faster than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over luring hill. Therefore do nimble pointed doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid wings. Now is the sun upon the highmost hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till noon is 3 long hours. Yet she has not come. If she had affections and warm youthful blood, she would be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love, and his to me. But old folks, many fain as they were dead, unwieldy, slow, heavy, pale as lead. Oh God, she comes! What news? Hast thou met with him? Send thy girl away.
Petra, stay at the gate.
Oh Lord, why lookest thou sad? If thy news be bad, yet tell it merrily. If good, thou shamest the music of sweet news by playing it to me with so sour a face.
I'm a-weary. Give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache. What a jaunts have I had.
I would thou hast my bones for thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak. Good nurse, speak.
Yea, suet haste. Can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath?
How art thou out of breath when thou art has breath to tell me that thou art out of breath? The excuse that thou art used in this delay is longer than the tale that dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Say either, and I'll stay the circumstance. Let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad?
Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man. Romeo? No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, his like excels all men's. And for a hand, and a foot, and a body, thou they not to be talked on. Yet they are past compare. He's not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench. Serve God. What, have you dined at home?
No, but all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that?
Oh, how my head aches. What a head have I. It beats as it would fall into 20 pieces. My back is to their side. Ah, my back. Be sure your heart for sending me about to catch my death was jouncing up and down.
My faith, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse, what says my love?
Your love says I am an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and I warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother?
Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother?
Oh, lady dear, are you so hot? Mary, come up, I trow. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward, do your messages yourself.
Here's such a coil. What says Romeo?
Have you got to leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence' cell. There stays a husband to make you a wife. Now coveth the wanton blood up in your cheeks. There'll be scarlet straight at any news. Hie you to church. I must another way to go fetch a ladder, by which your love must climb the bird's nest soon when it is dark. I am the drudge, and the toil in your delight, but you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go, I'll do dinner. Hie you to the cell.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse. Farewell.